Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason, and I'm here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Brenham, Texas. It is April the 17th, and today's report is going to be for April the 17th through April the 23rd. We usually start with our solar report, and so let's jump right into it this week. The sun has been pretty active, and so over the last day or so, we've been impacted by some solar coronal mass ejections, some minor ones. And so there's some been geomagnetic storms that were caused by that. So you might have been feeling a little off, a little crazy, a little triggered by that. Solar flaring is on the rise. And so solar flaring is usually going to have things to do with heart palpitation and mind adjustment or mind's ability to focus kind of stuff. So when that stuff starts to occur, your mind is going to have, I won't say misfires, but if you have any kind of spectrum disorders or things like that, those might be triggered. ADD, ADHD, whatever they're calling it, those kinds of things would increase, right? So the inability to focus, hence what's going on there, and that's going to be coinciding with Mercury retrograde, and so you should be. I won't say you should be. You perhaps are feeling super agitated that a lot of things are going on. And the things that are going on probably seem like issues that you should have already figured out or been settled. And so that's even more agitating, right? So there's this re-triggering stuff. But the thing that you should pay attention to is the nature of Mercury retrograde and the ability of the sun to sort of cause those mental triggers is really the release, right? So it's almost like you've taken a bath, but you're still sitting in the bath water. And so that energy just sort of needs to be cleared. You're not losing your mind. You're not backsliding per se. You're just experiencing all the things that need to go away or that are going away or that you were even not noticing you were carrying with you. So pay attention to that. And then just let that go away. Most of this change that happens by this minor solar weather is because of the pole shift, right? So there's a magnetic pole that guides the compasses north and south. And so when those things start to shift, the normally strong toroidal field that's around the Earth starts to shift. And so that stuff comes in until it gets reestablished. And then it gives that big protection again. That's why you're probably seeing, or a lot of the stuff that's going on in the cosmos that seems to be more intense than usual, right? So pay attention to that. And that's going to be an ongoing thing until the poles actually shift, depending on which scientist or which predictor of things in the future you believe. That's either going to just be a magnetic shift or an actual movement of the planetary stuff. So just if you feel like getting into that, go ahead and look that up. The solar channel that I like to pay attention to does do a little bit of reporting on that, which leads us into today, 4/17. Jupiter is really the main influence of today, right? And so Jupiter is the planet of an expansion, good luck, good fortune, and just it's just sort of interesting that the energy of the planet or the news of the planet is really talking about contraction, and lack and war, and right, all of these things that cause us to clinch up, right? And so the cosmos is allowing us to expand, and our mind is a very powerful creator, right? So if we were being told that no, really things are contracting, then we are missing out on the opportunities, I would say, of the expansion of the cosmos that's going on. So just sort of pay attention to that energy and use the energy of Jupiter to expand, whether that's the expansion of your understanding or whether that's the expansion of other things, your business, your bank account, the amount of love that you can contain for your relationships. Just pay attention to the energy and really sort of focus on what's the environment, and then what's the group think, and then how can you manage to be sovereign within that. And then that leads us into Thursday, the 18th. Thursday is really going to be the energy of a couple of things. The ending of Chiron post retrograde, right? So it has a long extended one. So that was in December of 23 that retrograde ended, and the post shadow is just now over. And so along with the Mercury retrograde and the triggering stuff of the sun, that Thursday energy is really the clearing of like childhood pains, right? And that could be just stuff you wish you would have done. Doesn't necessarily have to be trauma or abuse. It's really just sort of I wish I could have, or if I would have applied myself earlier. All those kinds of things where you think about childhood stuff that sort of formed you, and habits that you might have carried from childhood that are sort of directing your life. That's something to sort of pay attention to that way. Um, the energy of Thursday is also going to have a lot of Mars influence. And so Mars is an energetic planet, about energy. Sometimes it's about aggression. And so use the energy of Mars to sort of power through clearing away the stuff from the sun, clearing away the stuff from the Chiron retrograde, clearing away all the relationship communication issues from the Mercury retrograde, and just sort of use it in that sense. You'll be tempted to think that this burning, this overwhelming energy of all that stuff is anger, but really it's release and current, right? So it's almost like when you start an engine, right? It's the engine of starting, not anger, right? So you need a lot of extra energy to start an engine. People have those start stop engines, kind of know it's kind of startling sometimes when the engine cuts off and it cuts right back on. This is more of a starting energy than it is an anger, right? So don't think that, oh my gosh, all the energy, I must be angry. Think I have energy to change and move past and release this stuff. Leads us into Friday 4/17. Nope, 4/19. Can't read my writing. My writing is terrible. I must be a genius if bad handwriting makes you smart. Probably not. Well, probably not. That's a correlation. I might be pretty smart. I like me. Anyway, moving right on. It's a 22 master day. And so just sort of all that energy, all that power, all that Mars energy, all the release of it, just sort of take control and do what you want to do rather than do what you thought you should, kind of energy of the day, right? So once you sort of realize, or if you take an assessment over these couple of days leading up to Friday, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm moving past that. I can master my own self. And then it's really knowledge is power. And so when you sort of have knowledge that this stuff isn't really reoccurring, that it's just showing you a mirror or a lesson that you could have learned, then you can move right past that. As the master of your own consciousness and life that you are. Leads us into Saturday, 4/20. Yeah, it is 4/20. So just chill. No, that's not the energy of the, well, it could be the energy of the day if you 4/20 it up. But 4/20, the energy of the cosmos. I guess 4/20 could be the energy of the cosmos, but nonetheless, getting on for the 4/20 subject, really. We're zodiac signs moving into Taurus. And so when we move the zodiac energy into Taurus, um, that obviously moves the zodiac, but alchemically, we always talk about how that affects our physical body. What's the zodiac on our body? So we're here in Aries moving down into Taurus. Taurus is going to be right here at the occipital lobe or the polyvagal nerve cluster, right here at the base of the skull is really where that is. And the energy of Taurus is really about um the manifesting, right? So it's the bull, right? Once it gets the message or it has the higher mind or the higher consciousness or the spiritual understanding, it starts to try to manifest that into a physical reality. And so once it gets started in a direction, right, and that's why Taurus works the way it does, once it sort of hits the spinal cord, right, it starts to move its way down into the physical form. And so just sort of think of that energy of the zodiac moving into Taurus as the manifestation, the power to sort of manifest stuff. And I'll talk about that a little bit more on the Sunday part of the day, part of the week. Also, the planetary alignment is occurring, uh, that we've been talking about, or that I gave you a heads up about. And that's going to be Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune, right? So communication, love, power, rules, structure, and spiritual understanding, right, are all going to sort of conglomerate on that day. So it should be a really high energy day. So maybe you're going to need some 420. I don't know. Yeah. And so I think that's what's happening on 420. Moving into 421, Sunday. That's really when the power of Taurus kicks in because Jupiter moves into Taurus. And so Jupiter is really about the energy of expansion. And when it enters the sun sign, it makes it more likely that the things that we are spiritually inclined to want to manifest into a physical reality, it makes that easier to occur, right? So if you've been thinking about, manifesting something in particular, pay attention to Sunday as the day for a whole lot of stuff to fall into place, especially after the planetary alignment. Leads us into Monday, April the 22nd. Take a rest. If you can take a Monday off, it's Monday. I don't think Monday's a real holiday. Maybe it is a holiday. I haven't checked. But if you can take a holiday or just take it easy on Monday, you're going to let all that energy sort of simmer. People call allowing the energy to flow into the places it needs to be as integration. So you can allow that energy to integrate into what you want to be and who you are. And then Tuesday, the 23rd, um, is another big day. So it's a big week, three big things or three big, huge days of things that are happening. And then the sun is going to be probably flaring this entire time, right? So sort of pay attention to that extra cosmic energy flowing through. Tuesday, the 23rd, eclipse season ends. So that's the post 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks after the last eclipse, right? So lunar eclipse, eclipse window, post eclipse, after the solar. That's what we're ending. So eclipse season is over with that last couple of weeks. So everything that was triggered or cleansed or activated by the solar eclipse, whether you were in the United States or saw any part of that, right? It's a planetary thing, so it's a worldwide shift. All of that that's caused by that sort of ends or wraps up. So if you had a weird, wonky couple of days since the solar eclipse, then look for a regulation of that energy or an integration of that energy that your body gets used to it, right? It's kind of like a noise that starts to drown out when it's just been playing so long. Leads us into the Lyrid meteor shower. So star system Lyra is why they call it, because it should be coming from the star system Lyra. It's not coming from that star, but that's the direction in the sky that you should look for it at. The Lyrid meteor shower is going to peak on that day, Tuesday, also. Probably not as easy to see as it would be if it weren't for the third thing that's happening on Tuesday, which is the full moon, right? So full moon, get your crystals out, cleanse them, get out in the moon and cleanse yourself. It's new starts in cleansing of old things. So that's what's going on. And then that should be the week, which ends for just a little heads up into next week. Mercury goes direct on the 25th. So the full moon is really sort of the last cleanse of the Mercury retrograde. So sort of pay attention to that energy to be influential or affecting your Tuesday as well. I think that's everything. Busy here at the shop. If you can get in for an appointment, it'll be available online at newdimensionscrystals.com. Blah, 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 blah. I think that's everything. Next month, I'll be gone out of the shop, just for anybody who's planning a visit to Brenham, Texas. And you were thinking about May, I believe it's the 9th through the 17th, which the shop will be closed. I forgot to put that on my piece of paper where I tell you about things that are happening in the shop. But I believe it's the 9th through the 17th. I'll be gone at another retreat, the third in the series of the retreats I've been doing, if any of y'all have been paying attention. And so, yeah, I'll be out of the shop then. And if you need me, email probably will still work, but don't expect me to be available for appointments during that time. And then, of course, the retail shop will be closed too. So get your rocks, crystals, incense, and candles before then. I think that is everything. Making sure all the buttons are where I need to put them. And until next time, everybody, many blessings.